For a year and a half of a full-scale war against Ukraine, Russian propaganda did not make a single real participant in the hostilities recognizable, the so-called hero of the special military operation. Thus, Defense Minister Shoigu, who has been popular among the Russian population for decades, has lost his status in the eyes of his compatriots. According to surveys by the Levada Center and Russian Field, Shoigu was trusted by 17.4% of respondents in January last year, and already in May 2023, only by 10%, while the level of trust in the head of Wagner PMC began to grow rapidly.
Prigozhin is perhaps the main character of the military operation at the moment. He fights not only on the external front, but also on the internal one, actively earning recognition and rating for himself. Both the first and the second governed very well. Artemy Vedensky, head of the Russian Field Sociological Service, in an interview with the publication Verstka.
And no wonder the Ministry of Defense essentially has nothing to sell to people. For a year and a half of Russia's armed aggression against Ukraine, the army of the Federation has not achieved any success. At the same time, known for fighting for Bakhmut, Prigozhin today actively travels around the regions, communicates with people, and without choosing words, criticizes the government.
Well, he definitely earns points for himself, and his rating is growing incredibly. Another question is, I don't think he does this to run for president. Although, who knows? Such things have been happening in Russia lately that nothing is unpredictable. But Prigozhin is very actively earning his rating. If you do open a survey saying, without a list, name the one who comes to your mind as popular faces in the Russian Federation politicians, he's almost in third place.
The attacks by the head of Chechnya, Kadyrov, who is loyal to the president of the Federation, as well as statements by Putin himself that Wagner PMC should sign a contract with the Ministry of Defense, indicate that Putin wants to curb Prigozhin.
There's nothing to be proud of. If, as the propagandists claimed, they were in Kiev in 3 days, then of course Putin would become a hero. And now, when everyone understands that Putin has no army, Putin is waging a war of conquest, which, like any dictator, he calls some kind of liberation. Not a single dictator has ever called his wars of conquest. And there are no heroes in a war of conquest. Maybe there are a little, but there are obviously failures on all fronts, and there is nothing to be proud of.
Russian propaganda failed to create a national hero of the so-called special military operation. Attempts to make heroes of the granny with a red flag, the boy Fyodor from the Belgorod region, turned out to be futile. Soldiers on billboards remained unknown to the general public.
Attempts at heroization are constantly going on. Banners are hung all over the country telling about the exploits of heroes, but now people just don't care. The reasons must be sought in the deep attitude of people towards the war. There was no mass consolidation around it. For many, it is not even the number one topic in life, as it was, of course, with World War II, and as, albeit with reservations, it was with both Chechen wars. Verstka publication writes, referring to a source in the northwestern federal district of Russia.
At the same time, Prigozhin's refusal to enter into contracts with the Ministry of Defense of Russia could become dangerous for the authorities, Russian officials believe. After all, this is a sign that the current government is losing credibility. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.